To wrap all this up, I would say if you were thinking about being an entrepreneur, this is your time. Age, background, how confident you feel in terms of your own femininity or how you express. My name is Samantha Snabes, and I'm a reservist in the Air Force on the weekends. And during the week, I have the honor of serving as a co-founder and catalyst for re3D, where we make human scale 3D printers. They start at the size of a toilet and go as big as your budget, cost under $10,000. And recently, we've been able to modify our printers so they can print from plastic trash. Now, I became interested in 3D printing actually with my first venture, which was a hardware company in my early 20s. Where we used 3D printing to make a small device, and it was part of our prototyping efforts. Later on, I went to work for NASA Johnson Space Center and had the honor of speaking at some maker fairs. And around that time, the open source movement was getting started, and I learned about the desktop printers that allow you to and I to make things affordably and at home. You may have seen one in your local school, but it wasn't enough for us just to use those printers. We wanted to make things that were functional, which we often found were bigger than that small form factor. So we made the Gigabot, which allows problem solvers now in 53 countries to 3D print. In the future, I do feel that 3D printing is going to create a number of jobs. It allows, especially with COVID and global supply chains being disrupted, there's huge opportunity for people to help shorten supply chains and to create on-demand manufacturing locally. With submarine borders being closed and delays in supply chains, I think we'll see a trend towards that, as well as trade skills. So enabling individuals who maybe don't have a desire to go to college to be able to earn an income and start a business by using their 3D printer. 3D printing also has the environmental upside of reducing logistical long tails. Without even using our printers that could print from shredded up waste and just the filament ones, it's projected that with the rise of on-demand manufacturing, that global supply chains can be shortened up to, say, 40% by 2050. That has a significant impact in terms of second and third order effects and reducing the carbon footprint and the emissions that transportation long tails create. And now if you do choose to use waste, that also has the benefit of not only reducing CO2 emissions, but allowing you to take what would otherwise be low value waste going to your landfill and to turn it into something that has a higher value to create economic opportunity and a more sustainable circular economy. Now, printing from trash is hard. If you're thinking about waste from a landfill, you have to think about contaminants and mixed materials. And if you look at even water bottles, which is something we're focused on right now, you have to think about separating the bottle, say, from the cap, the adhesive that's used for a label as well as a label, and then the fact that some water bottles may have water in them. These are big challenges, but we've been fortunate to have funding from the National Science Foundation in order to overcome some of them. What we've decided to do as a company is eat the elephant one bite at a time. So what we're doing is partnering with manufacturers that have what we call trim, so waste from their production. It's often very clean and sorted and characterized, and using material that they may otherwise put in a landfill to make something useful locally. As we continue our research endeavor, we hope to eventually get to machines that can take those mixed materials. Now, coming from a non-engineering background, I don't feel it was too difficult to make a mark in 3D printing. We've been really fortunate to recognize that emerging technologies like 3D printing and the maker movement are really gender and demographic agnostic. People care more about what you did than where you come from or the amount of training you have. with 3D printing, what's really cool is it's more about practice and perseverance and just real motivation to make something happen. We have users who are illiterate, for example, and many users who never went to school. So what I really love about 3D printing is kind of like using a 2D printer. It's available for people in multiple backgrounds, engineers and non-engineers. And some of the most brilliant solutions or applications come from career fields that you wouldn't normally think about intersecting with in terms of 3D printing. Now with our social venture, again, re3D, we donate one printer for every 100 that is sold to someone trying to make a difference in their community. We'd love to see what ideas you have and I encourage you to sign up for our newsletter at the bottom of our homepage where you can find out more about how we do this. And we've been honored to see some really amazing ideas over the years, whether it's making assistive aids that 3D print Braille for the non-sighted community and museums, to individuals looking at making prosthetics, to a group in Kenya that won in their first year, and they had a vision to make better fittings to mate PVC that they got on the black market or that had been broken from different vendors. So the different diameter piping could be easily patched to better distribute clean water to the Kibera slum. So it's been really interesting to see those ideas. The 1 for 100 program also has the upside of exposing us to trends in the impact field and true problem solvers, maybe before other communities become aware of them. Now I am a captain in the Air National Guard, and that's been a phenomenal opportunity to receive formal training from the military on leadership alongside growing the company. Being in the Air National Guard has taught me better ways to manage my time, and also how to make priorities. Oftentimes as an officer, you have more than one thing to do than can be done at the moment. So you have to learn to prioritize and to make quick decisions, which I feel like I get to apply often to re3D. So I've been really thankful for that. I've been fortunate to be immune to feeling like I was challenged as a woman entrepreneur. I would say most of the challenges I faced come from myself. And sometimes I'm told that they're traits that other women may have. I've been told that sometimes women like to hold on to things and have all the information before they branch out into a new field in order to feel secure. And I find myself doing that too. And I have to challenge myself all the time and let myself know that I can't stand in my own way, and that the best way to learn is to fail and to grow with a community. So I'm learning to get better and better about sharing ideas, sharing product developments, and sharing progress as openly as possible and with as many people as possible, even if I am not 100% sure that the idea or the product is complete, because the best way you can grow is through feedback and through alliances. I've also learned that as a female entrepreneur, people really want to advocate for the success of other female business owners. And so by sharing my ideas and getting them out there early on and asking questions and not being afraid to fail, sometimes I get to connect with communities that have been a really great help and a resource. And then I have noticed too, many women do feel that they need to let go of feminine qualities to be successful in the world of tech and entrepreneurship. And in order to say blend in with the guys. I haven't experienced that. I've actually experienced the flip side. When I'm speaking or in the startup scene, I have seen women I really admire that really embrace their feminine qualities, and I often find that I don't feel like as pretty or as put together because I run a manufacturing company. I slammed my finger into a U-Haul the other day and I'm losing my fingernail, and I cut myself, and I just don't feel as polished because I don't have the education maybe, or I'll come up with some excuse in my head. Again, coming to me standing in my own way and why I'm not as presentable on stage. And so what I found is that I just need to embrace who I am. And as a woman, I am a maker and I run a factory, and I get to laugh and cry and stumble alongside a great group of human beings every day. So for me, how I find that I overcome not feeling like enough of a girly girl on camera sometimes or today, or not feeling masculine enough to compete with the guys, is just to remind myself that I am me, and I have a voice, and I have a great team. And even when I'm not feeling confident, I can speak to the pride I have in my product and the community and my team, and that gives me the energy just to step out. So my motto for success is, fail forward, fail fast, and fail frequently. I learned that in my time at NASA, and it's something I've really embraced. And I certainly do that regularly. And then as a team, sometimes I think, and as a company, for better or worse, we kind of have a joking, lighthearted motto that's under promise, over deliver. So, when we're not sure, what we can do is be really honest about the state of our technology and where we are, and then really try and exceed customer expectations in every way possible. Our customers and our community are micro investors, and we have an obligation to them. So to wrap all this up, I would say if you were thinking about being an entrepreneur, this is your time. Age, background, how confident you feel in terms of your own femininity or how you express it, your background, whether it's an engineer or not, it really doesn't matter. What does matter is that you start today, because for every day that you wait is one less day that you had a chance to grow. So I would say, get yourself out there, be yourself, be your authentic self, and do not be afraid to ask questions, because there's a community like me that wants to help. If you have any other questions, or if you want me to look at your pitch deck or chat one-on-one, feel free to reach out to me at Samantha@re3d.org. That's Samantha, Samantha, at re3d, Romeo Echo, 3 like the number, D like Delta.org. Good luck.